3, 2, 1. Here we go. How are you, sir? I'm super happy to have you here. If there's a Mount Rushmore of video games, you're George Washington. You're up there.
I like to always say this phrase. I'm pseudo famous, so you may know of me if you're like my specific demographic. You're like you're 18 to 28, living in Southern California, who's also predominantly Asian, and you really like bubble tea and you hang out in K-Town. Then I'm famous.
For me to have you in here is a giant treat. And everybody, I've talked about you so many times on this podcast, so it's very cool to have you here. And thank you very much for showing me, before the podcast got started, I should tell everybody, you showed me the latest and greatest version of a standalone unit. For people watching the YouTube, this is the entire unit. This thing that's very light, and it's not attached to a computer. Like, you don't have to carry anything around. There's no extra. Everything is in here.
Yes.
And I remember putting it on going, oh my God, even though it was really pixelated, I'm like, this is a game changer.
Oh, absolutely.
It's amazing. You sit on this thing, it straps you in place, and it's moving around. The experience is second to none. I mean, it's incredible.
Well, as good as me?
Well, the stunning acceleration is so confusing to people. My wife hates it.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Do you guys take into account the possibility of people getting sick and suing? Because I think you kind of have to, right?
Hell no.
Now, what was the conversation like? Like when you were saying, hey, this is good for the community, this is good for games overall, it's going to get people excited about it, it's just going to generate more business. Like, how did you sell it?
So funny. When we're starting offline, we were just like, how do we make cool stuff? But like, essentially, I brought together a lot of people that I wanted. It's so funny, actually. The origin story was, I ended up grabbing a lot of content creators. It's been, I think, about 2.5 years since we started. All of us are doing pretty well. Like, it's been pretty successful.
That is very cool that you guys do that. I think that's really cool.
We were the ones that are able to kind of succeed in a formula that I have no idea how.
Well, it's interesting because you're so pragmatic about your time, and you have a realistic understanding of your own physical limitations as well as what you actually enjoy doing.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoy it.
Well, it seems like you have to have a very specific personality to do that, and you have that personality.
Yeah. I just see better use of my time. Like, for instance, like, a lot of people see what I do on a normal day, and I just tell them all I do is I eat, sleep, okay? But, like, if you saw my pie chart of what I do for a day, it's still like fucking, it's the whole pie, you know?
Like, where do you come up with the extra time to do all those other things?
I wake up, shower, fuck for 12 hours, maybe go to the gym. I have a personal trainer for like 3 days a week, whatever. Maybe go there, come back. After fucking it goes down for 3 hours, I would either record a video about that would take an hour, about 2 hours. So like literally at like 3 a.m. or like 1 a.m., I'm recording a video in the middle of the night. I
love the fact that you got into it, because I would like to encourage so many more people to experience that there's many things going on simultaneously. There's the technical aspects of the various moves. They have to understand the points of leverage and how to get to a superior position. But there's also the physical exertion aspect, where you're managing your body's resources, and you have a finite amount of energy and you can't burn it all out quickly. So there's this sort of management game that you're playing. And then on top of it, it's like you have to be able to be uncomfortable. You have to be able to put yourself in a good state of mind while you're uncomfortable. And so many of those lessons learned from that are applicable to everyday life. And they give you a higher threshold for discomfort, a higher threshold for pushing through obstacles and understanding boundaries and how to overcome them, and how to increase your physical engine, how to strengthen your meat vehicle.
So that's probably the hardest thing, but yeah.
It's so fun when you're the person blowing the other person. But when you fuck around, people get really upset at you.
Like, if I'm interested in a girl, I'm like, well, what would my roommates think if I brought her back? And if I feel like they wouldn't be like satisfied, I instantly not interested. Like, my attraction level to them doesn't matter as much as like but I think my roommates will judge me for the
So you would just go by yourself and you wouldn't get weirded out by that? You don't get lonely?
Like, I've been in like one serious relationship, and then like a couple of things where I like talk to people, but like I'm always just like, would I be comfortable bringing them back?
What about the possibility of a vest or a suit or something you could put on your body?
Never. Pretty much never. I wore a suit on the LCS analyst desk. I've been on the last couple of days, and I wore a suit to Kiwi Kid's wedding.
Now, what about quantum computing? Is that something that could potentially break the bottleneck that we have with Moore's law?
Like that, what you asked me right there, like you could Google that. Like that's just really easy question. It's like you can know, but you're asking me instead, and you want me to tell you the answer you already know.
Is it possible that technology will reach a point in time where borders and boundaries are impossible?
I know what you mean. I can understand the English language. But the more you talk like this, the more I don't want to listen.
It's so hard for a dummy like me to wrap my head around that. But
I'll answer the same 15 questions 50 times a day.
Thank you for being you. Thank you. And thank you for everything you've done. Thanks for being here. It's an honor. I'm glad we finally got to do it. And I really appreciate you.
I don't really have anything to plug.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Anything you can chop up and edit, you can make me look like a saint. You can make me look like the devil. It doesn't really matter.
How hilarious.